Good morning and welcome to Diva's Den. Oh, I got my little coffee mug. I love this coffee mug. It says, I am thankful to have you as my mom. My 24-year-old daughter got that for me. I'm not sure when, but yeah. Oh, I had to let my husband know. I'm like, I got a couple videos to make. I got one to make for Courage Haven, and I got one to make for my other talk show, and so that way, he knew, and I didn't get no unexpected surprises, other than ASMR traffic. Oh, that's hot. I'm gonna get me some lip stain. I'm so tired of, one of my pet peeves is, deposits. Like lip deposits. So, on this morning's topic, and I got a new brush. But, and, it wasn't even like about the brush, like obviously she needed it more than me, but it was just the concept of, if you'll steal something small, what else did you take that I did not realize yet? But today's topic is going to be, and I'm going to call it G violence, and I'm sitting on my porch, so you think it's okay for you to claim a life, but who are you to decide? The only one that can is the Lord above. Those who need to be judged will be judged by the one above. There is not a good enough reason to take it that far unless it's a traumatic and traumatizing life-changing experience. Then, of course, you got the phase that it's kill or be killed. But of course, you have to be pushed to your utmost. This shouldn't be an everyday mindset. That's like survival of the fittest. That's where I believe that would come in. Also, if they do things like this, and, with G violence, it's so loosely used, and, I rip them up so that I know I did those. Instead of, like, back in the day, if people had a problem with somebody, they would take it outside, Dirt in my cup from the road. I did the finger. It used to be, cash me outside. How about that? Not, I'll shoot you in your face or something like that, because, when, I'm gonna say, when gun safety, becomes a thing, it's because of reasons like this, where people want to take it to that next level, and they want to use it like a, I don't want to say, the G word, but, this is emanating throughout the world, and people are seeing how other people handle situations and how they tackle situations, and unfortunately this is a big thing. And then, that's where I have to say that, like, put the shoe on the other foot. What if it was like somebody that, they loved or cared about or something like that that was in the situation, and they were unalived because of G violence. But yet you sit there and you're doing the same thing. It's the same concept. The shoe's just on the other foot. The safety should become if somebody's coming up in your yard. Okay, this is what we were told for Florida. Or this was like 5 years ago, maybe, give or take some time. They said that if somebody walks up into your yard and that looks like they're holding something or a weapon or something like that, and you feel threatened and they're coming at you some sort of way with their body language, then you can shoot them. But if you shoot them, you gotta, because if not, they'll testify against you and they can flip the script and flip the story. And I'm 50-50 on that, but as far as safety goes, I mean, I agree with it on that note. You know, you can never be too safe and sorry, but you got to take into consideration, if you're going to take it to the extremes, you have to consider the families, and did that person have children? You know, that kind of thing. I'm actually watching Tea Time. It's actually paused on the TV. Because I've already addressed that in my previous video and touched on it in a couple, but because of the fact, you know, I want to learn about who she is as a person. You know, who is Raven-Symoné? Who is, you know, Miranda-Symone? You know, I like to learn about people. Not everybody's views are going to be the same. I've not had an issue with any of Miranda or Raven's views. I've not had an issue with anything they've talked about. It's kind of awkward to listen to the girl-on-girl combos, because obviously, if you know, you know, but because I'm married, I've been with my husband for, common law, I stand on it, not a lot of people do, for like 26 years. And yeah, there's that, because I also love Snow, the product. She's pretty awesome and stuff, which I've already addressed this stuff in many videos before. You know, it's kind of like on a no basis, like, if you know, you know. If you don't, go back and watch, you know, kind of thing. So the next one on the list would be mental health. Mental health matters, as so many go around feeling scattered. No one caring enough to simply say, "What's the matter?" Trying to help calm all the clatter. Showing someone you know they matter. So many fall into the traps, blinded by what they can now see clearly, as no matter how much you heal, in the back of your mind is where it will be. Treat others the way you want to be treated. So, we all go through traumas. We all go through things along our journey and along our way and throughout our life. And, oh, hold on a second. Kind of drop my papers here. I don't want them flying away. But, rawr. Put the glove in there to kind of weigh him down. Anyways, yeah, I'm trying not to smoke the nicotine. I've been trying to slow down. But, back to what I was saying, me included, I've addressed in my past videos, but, just because we talk about it and discuss it and stuff like that, talking about our traumas and our past experiences and stuff like that, it does help, but it doesn't mean it's gonna go away. It will sit in the back of your mind, and then one day just randomly it would just, something will come up and, just pop up in your head. And, it's not us putting it there. It's just we've been through it. It's something we went through. And sometimes it will come up. And, we have to deal with it. And in my mindset, I think that when it comes up and becomes a situation like that, that it's a way to saying, okay, I'm going to test your strengths. I'm going to see where you are when it comes to your strengths and your weaknesses. And if this makes you crumble, then you got a lot to work on. But if you take this and you're like, yeah, I ain't tripping over that, then you're making progress, basically in that kind of line of speaking. And that's how I use it. And with the whole turning your traumas into strengths and stuff like that, for me, that would be my analogy on it. And always become better than you were yesterday or last year or last week, last month, And if you're not, there's a lot of people who are not really happy with their appearance, or they're not very happy with how they look or come off, or whatever the case may be. And I still am sometimes. It depends on the day, but you always try to that's when I was like, it's time to reinvent and do this and do that and blah blah blah. And, do something with yourself, reinvent yourself, do something with your hair. If you don't wear makeup, maybe put on some mascara on your lashes, or, maybe you color your brows, or, maybe you wear a little bit of, eyeshadow if you're not a big makeup person, or some blush, or, just a little something, something. And then look and be like, see how you feel. What's the first thought that pops into your head when you do that? A lot of people think that's a big misconception. Like, there is a lot of women who use makeup and filters and stuff due to insecurities. I'm not going to say that. That's not, With me, I've been wearing makeup since I was 16. So, I dabbled with the little tiny kid palettes that you would get for Christmas, the little plastic neon, but I never, I was a tomboy. So, I would use it in my room, but then I would, wash it off because it, wasn't into it in that era of my life. But, my point is, I started using it due to insecurity issues when I was younger, because people talk and say ruthless things, to you or about you, but neither here or there. But then I grew, and as an adult, I'm starting to use it more because I've always been a creative kind of person. I've always been a creative person, into the art and stuff since I was in the kindergarten and stuff like that. So I've always been into, highly into art. But I use it in my adulthood. I'm seeing makeup as art, What kind of different style do I want to do today? What kind of different look do I want to do today? What I want to do with myself today. So, and it's fun because I started to use that to challenge myself. And it's actually pretty fun. When you wake up in the morning and you challenge yourself and you're like, okay, we're gonna see if I can outdo myself today when I do this, or it's a challenge, and it makes it really fun, and it's a good way to keep yourself in check, because that's a good way I keep myself in check. But it's always good to give yourself mental exercises or mental challenges or quizzes, or question yourself about certain things, or maybe even think about one of your traumas from back in the past and see how you process it now when you think about it. And I've used that, and it helps a lot. It really does. So thank you for tuning in with Diva's Den Talk Show. I love that. It has a ring to it. We all got that little diva in us. Especially when we're spicy, when somebody gets us all spicy. Girl. Until next time, live your best life. And like I say in Courage Haven, help other people see their values and self-worth. Thank you.